Now we're going to see how to use the average function and average if function in Excel. So once again, I'm going to imagine there are two stocks. Here's the price of stock number 1. Here are the prices of stock number 2. We just make some fictitious ones. So what we'll do is go to data, data analysis, random number generation. Once again, I'm going to create two variables, 20 numbers each on the uniform distribution, and I'll have the output in A2, and it's going to generate some fictitious prices. Now let's say we have the change in price of stock number 1 and the change in price of stock number 2. So here we go, today's price minus yesterday's price, and then you can see the price went down in this case, and we filled down for all other observations. And once again, the change in price of stock number 2 is today's price minus yesterday's price, and that price also went down, and then we have the changes in all prices here. Supposing now I want to calculate the average change in price. So here's one way of doing it. I type the average command in, and then it's asking me what I want the average of. So I want the average of these numbers right here, and I hit enter, and that's the average right here. Let's do the same thing. In fact, you don't need to type it again. You can copy the formula to the right, and it'll compute the average. Now what I want to do is use the average if command. I don't want the average anymore of all numbers. Let's suppose I want the average of only changes in prices that were positive. So what you now want is average if. So it's asking you what's the range of the data in which this criteria is being applied, what is the criteria, and where is the range in which I should take the average. Well, the criteria is over here. The criteria itself is I only want changes in prices that are positive, and it's asking me which numbers am I taking the average of. So I do this, hit enter, and that gives me the average of just the positive price changes. Let's now see how to use the criteria in a different way. Here's average if. Now the range is the following. So now what I want is the average of changes in prices for those prices that were bigger than, let's say, 5. So what I'll do is, actually that would not work so well. Let's say for changes for price of stock number 2 that were larger than 30. So I want this range, since I'm only looking to average changes in price of stock number 2, provided of course the price of stock number 2 was greater than 30. So these are the prices of stock number 2. Then what I want is the criteria, and the criteria says it should be bigger than 30. Oh, sorry, this is here, and then the average of the changes in prices. So right now what you're saying is take the average of the change in price of stock number 2 for those changes when the price of stock number 2 was greater than 30, and there is your answer.